be a clinical psychologist, and I want to do both research and practice. I came to college because I want it to help me help other people. A lot of programs focus on just one or the other. There's like a growing divide between like psychological practitioners, right, and the researchers, because the research is so expensive. And so the more people who are doing both, the more practice can be informed by research on a more like current basis. And I really want to be one of those people. My research for McNair right now is about moral judgments. So it's about how we judge each other. So not like how I form an impression of your personality, not like I judge you based on your appearance, but if you do something and you do something that I think is wrong, just how wrong do I think you are? If you put the toilet paper roll so that it goes over instead of under, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's just wrong. But if you murder two people, I'm gonna be like, wow, that's really wrong. And those are both wrong, but obviously very different levels of transgressions is what I call them. And we know that there are a lot of things that affect how severely people judge a certain action. I think about somebody else, when somebody else lies to me, how dare they? Like, that's like the worst thing in the world, they're so evil. But then if I ever, lie to someone, I'm like, well, I had a really good reason, it was just a little one. It's not as bad when I do it. Same as if I would hear somebody who I already don't like, insulting a professor. It doesn't even matter if I didn't like that professor 3 seconds ago, I'm still gonna judge that person more harshly than I would judge my friend. The problem is that we can't test any of those things, like we know those things intuitively, but we can't test that we're actually harsher depending on who did it or who it was done to until we have a way to quantify that feeling of this was wrong, that action was wrong. So what I did this summer was I made a measure that can quantify it. So I researched, a whole bunch of other psychologists have figured out what the feeling of guilt feels like. So when I feel like I did something wrong. The researchers have figured out certain ways to measure, when it comes to like crimes, we say that a person thinks something is more wrong if they're willing to give that person more jail time. So I just made survey items for each of those ideas, and then I put them in a survey. And then I had to test the survey with math, see if it's reliable and if it actually measures what I want it to measure. So I recruited participants online, and I had to take a survey, and then I analyzed the data, and it works. There's already another undergraduate researcher who wants to use my measure, so I kind of gotta get on that.